climate change is a fact, and I want to be on record. I want to say it is a fact. It's constantly changing, and Earth is warming. And if we weren't, I would be concerned because the warming is cyclic. And if we weren't warming now, I wonder why we're not warming now. CO2 levels right now about 418, 420 parts per million, which is higher than it's been in 10 years, 20 years, 50 years. That's true. Is it dangerously high? No. And as a geologist, here's why I can say that. When we go look at the geologic record, there are times we've had CO2 levels have been 1,000 parts per million, 2,000 parts per million. And Earth was lush, Earth was green. Some of the most abundant times for life during Jurassic period, Cretaceous, during these periods. And what's interesting is you can have very high carbon dioxide levels historically and the temperatures are low. And vice versa. You can have high temperatures and the CO2 is low. And then one of the kickers is from the Vostok ice cores. People may not be familiar with this. Every year there's a new layer of ice that is laid down in Greenland and Antarctica. And in that layer of ice is captured little air bubbles of the atmosphere and particles of pollen and particles of volcanic dust. And we can tell from that layer what the temperatures have been, what the magnetic strength of the Earth has been, how strong the sun has been. I mean, all this stuff.
Amazing.
It's a mind blower. I'm just amazed. So they drilled in Vostok, Antarctica, and they ended up going back 420,000 years of layers of ice, continuous layers. And the real scientists know what I'm going to say, the real geologists that are not politicized and are not beholden to academic or corporate interests that are paying their paychecks. One of the problems is in those ice cores, the temperature actually rises before the CO2 levels. If the CO2 is causing that rise, that's a problem because you would expect the CO2 to rise first and then the temperature, and that's not what the ice cores. And I do have a slide of that if he wants to bring that up. So it suggests that something else is happening. So what you're seeing is the red is temperature, and blue, yeah, and you can see that the red, if you're coming from the past to the present, the red is rising first, and then the blue follows. So the temperatures are rising first, and then the carbon dioxide is rising. Now, there's a reason for that. And a lot of people don't like this. What's driving climate change is under our feet. Humans are not causing it. All right? And I know that's a big statement, and it's different than what a lot of people have heard, and I'm going to acknowledge that. NASA said, I've got a slide showing that. NASA is showing 90% of the CO2 in the atmosphere, Joe, is coming from the outgassing of the oceans. All right? We know from high school science that cold water holds more gas. The oceans are warming, and that's a fact. And as they warm, they're releasing that CO2 into the atmosphere. The kicker is they're warming from underneath, not from top.
So they're not, you don't think they're warming from whatever we're doing to the atmosphere?
No.